Hi, I'm Bennet Simonton. Welcome to Leadership Science TV. Today's topic, how to listen.
It is a big job, but it is the boss's job. That is what the boss's job actually is. Listening is probably 80–90% of it.
What are we listening to or listening for?
Well, specifically, we're trying to give every employee the chance to lodge complaints, suggestions, and questions and get them reasonably responded to completely and back to them with the answers. And really the big goal is people want to put in their 2 cents. And so, you know, you want to receive these 2 cents and you want to make sure that they realize that you want them to be heard. You want to respect them. But you want to improve your own leadership. And we said in the other segment that how important it was to find out the problems with your own leadership. So you can't find out unless you ask for complaints, suggestions, and questions.
The next then is, how do we listen?
Well, the experts, there's a lot of people who really understand communication. And the first thing we've got to realize is that only about 7%, according to these experts, of all communication is verbal. The other amount is all tone of voice and body language. So we really need to listen with about 120% or something of our faculties. If we don't really concentrate at this, we'll never be able to pick up all this. And the big problem that most people have is that society doesn't really teach us very well on how to listen. I mean, we're always thinking about what our response is going to be or you know, what movie are we going to see tonight, rather than really listening to the person. So you need to clear your mind. The how to listen is you got to clear the mind totally and concentrate on this person, picking up everything you can. I used to carry around 3x5 cards with me. And I carried them so that I could record and go away from my interactions with people with the major points and really understanding. And I would even make notes maybe about the person that I learned by really listening. Of course, you've got to listen for, you know, body language, so you can't get too involved in taking notes. But just the note-taking itself shows you've got a lot of respect for this person, that you're taking the time to take down the notes. So it helps you with your concentration. But the whole deal about listening is you really have to concentrate on it or you're going to miss a lot of it, and maybe the most important parts.
So part of what you're listening to then is body language.
Right, and tone of voice.
Okay. Because
both of those have more, they communicate more than what the language says. And you want to really listen and because they're not going to always tell you everything. They're going to tell you maybe what they think you want to hear. And you've got to figure that out. If the person really trusts you, they'll be much more open with you. But even then, they're a little bit apprehensive about, oh my God, I'm talking to the boss. I mean, this guy controls my paycheck. So they probably won't tell you everything to begin with. So you have to be willing to sort of pull. You've got to, you know, ask some decent questions, be very respectful. Remember, this is a very important person you're talking to. This is one of your workforce. Right. These are the people who produce everything. You don't. So these people are very important. You have to treat them like they're very important, because only that way will they realize they really are. You really believe that they're important and that you care about how they feel and think and what they worry about and what they don't have.
So take me through the process.
There's about 5 steps to this. The first one is really listening to the complaint and drawing out, as I said, or the suggestion, drawing out what the person didn't tell you. So you get all of that. And maybe if it's a complaint, they know what they'd like to see as a solution. So don't walk away from them or don't stop that conversation until you get that. Ask them, oh, you've probably thought your way through this or something. What do you think we should be doing? So you get it all out of them. Then you know that there are a lot of other members of the workforce that will have, you know, be affected by anything you manage to change. So maybe you better get their opinions too. you better find out if this complaint is a real one. Or is this the, the straw that broke the camel's back that it was just a little straw, but it broke the camel's back. So you need to understand that. So you need to go to other people, find out what's really going on, and whether this is a really valid complaint, or if the suggestion is, maybe other people, oh, if you did like this, maybe it'd be even better than that. You want to make it the really good fix. So you spend a little time on that. Then you go off and you design what you really think you should be doing with all this information. And you design the action. Then, in step 4, you take it back to the originator. You haven't taken action. Nothing's in cement. You go back and present to them what you think you should be doing. And, gee, George, how do you feel about that? I mean, does that really satisfy you, or do you think we could do a little better than that, or whatever else? And only then do you, and you may have to give this answer to all these other affected people too, before you put it into cement and take action. And step 5 is taking the action. So you're really, when you listen, the whole purpose behind listening is to figure out what action should I take as a result from what this person has communicated to me. And it's all about action. It's not about anything else. We've said before that action is the most, from the result of listening, that's the most important thing. Because if we listen well, but we don't act based on what we heard, then the person thinks we really disrespect them, didn't respect them at all.
Right, you didn't hear me. Really
right,
hear me.
And so, or I don't care. And those messages you don't want anybody to have. Besides that, you really need to correct these things because they are your leadership. Most of the complaints and suggestions are based on your leadership, your support, what's going on in the workplace, things you didn't do right, things you should apologize for.